it takes a lot to be like, you know what? I'm bested, so I'm gonna sit down and shut up.
There's videos of people where they are actually above the sun.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Hello again and welcome back to another one. And today we have a couple of topics to cover, from a wholesome clip that shows football star from Liverpool, Mo Salah, is probably Eminem's biggest fan in the English Premier League, all thanks to a wild question from a recent interview, and we'll get to more on this in a moment. Today we also have what continues the saga of Jamar getting cooked by a scientist over his plain earth beliefs, like we covered in the last video, and we got to hear more from the man who caught a body during the debate, and we also got to hear from Godfrey and his co-host about how Jamar set up himself only to turn around and blame them after he got cooked. More on this in a moment. And today we also have more that's come from the backlash rappers like Snoop Dogg and Nelly have faced for performing at the current president's inauguration. And Dr. Umar had a different take on this backlash, which we'll get to later, and I'll be looking forward to your thoughts on if you agree or disagree with Dr. Umar. And starting with the football news, Men in Blazers asked football stars the question about the songs Premier League stars can't live without. And in the lineup, we got to hear from arguably the best Premier League footballer right now.
If you could only listen to one song for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Jeez, that's a very good question. Really difficult question.
One song? You can't pick one song.
Every day for the rest of my life.
That is a mental question.
So many choices.
People who know me say you know nothing about music.
Do you want me to check my Spotify for you? 1 sec.
Burna Boy, yeah. It's a good vibe, man.
Bob Marley, Redemption song. Really chill, just nice to listen to.
Don't really have one.
A Spotify or a tune?
Both. I use my mate's Spotify.
Wow. There's so much good music out there. It needs to be something that kind of covers all moods. Probably go for a gospel song, maybe Trust in God.
Stand By Me, the original one. Just give me a nice feeling inside my body.
Memories by Maroon 5, just calmed me down a little bit.
Maybe my song, oh my Nelly.
Juicy by Biggie.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine.
Yeah, that song means a lot to me.
North London Forever, I take.
You can't start a fire without a spark.
Dancing in the Dark.
My stuff is the spark, the players shine and they create the fire.
Never too much Luther Vandross.
As smooth as you're passing.
That's too hard, this question. I don't know.
Probably go ASAP Rocky, Goldie.
Tres Estrellas, Conjunto, which is the Argentinian song after we win the World Cup.
To get me in the mood for the game.
Maybe something like Afrobeat.
Tiesto or Daddy O for strings. Gets everyone ready for a party and carnage.
Maybe the Champions League anthem.
I love Eminem. Anyone for Eminem is great. I love him.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
It's gonna be You Never Walk Alone.
But apparently this shouldn't come as a surprise, as we got a clip from way back in November 2024 that explains everything.
Not 50. Eminem to that.
And moving on, after months of Jamar going off on social media, seeking to debate scientists on his plain earth beliefs. Like we covered in the last video, the internet saw Jamar get destroyed and exposed during the debate.
Like if he was in this room, I'd be smacking the out of him right now.
Let me respond to the insanely stupid thing you said. Density is a scalar. It's not a force. It can't make things move. Buoyancy, there's a buoyant force, but it has gravity in the equation. Buoyancy only exists when gravity exists.
When gravity, the secret sauce.
Here's the problem with your density.
One more child left behind.
And we got some more backstory on how this happened. First, check out a snippet explaining this from In Godfrey We Trust podcast.
So I text Jamar, I was like, yo, there's no way I would ever drug you. That's crazy. And he was like, oh, Godfrey said drug. I didn't say drug. I was like, well, I just want you to know I would never drug you. I go, and the only reason why we set this up in the first place was because you said you wanted to debate out of his own mouth. You saw the video.
Debate
you said
Neil
you
deGrasse
wanted to debate Neil deGrasse Tyson. I couldn't get Neil. So I got the next best thing, and that's how it went down. I had no idea that he wasn't inept with his own point or to deal with this dude.
Like now you're gonna do a lawsuit on me? Like what? You called him F words and all kind of other. And it's almost like you're trying to make up a beef, I guess. Maybe that's a rap thing.
He tried to Drake you.
Yeah, he's trying to Drake me. Like, I'm like, huh? It's like your enemy is the guy Dave, not me. And then you're calling us sucker and all this other. I'm like, maybe you're that kind of guy. Maybe you're that kind of whack ass dude. Maybe that's what you are. And then he goes, oh, we gonna take care of that. Like, take care of what?
Sound like a threat.
Like, oh, we gonna take care of that. Like, what do you mean over flat earth? This is what we're doing. But that's that hip hop petty, I think. Comics we don't operate like that.
And before we get to the professor, briefly speaking on destroying El Jamar and also being surprised by the positive reception it got, the Godfrey podcast also reacted to El Jamar's excuse about why he got destroyed during the debate, and Godfrey's co-host respectfully read El Jamar to filth. It was surgical. Check out a snippet.
I definitely was not myself that night, and I thought certain people were my friend. And you don't want to believe that your friends would do certain things, but yeah, it's definitely possible. But yeah, I was just not in my right state of mind. I apologize for allowing y'all to see me lose my cool. Yeah, that's what happened.
He believes his own. So I just wanted to get that out and talk about that.
He just seems like he's embarrassed.
That's what I think.
Yeah, it seems like he's embarrassed, and it doesn't seem like he buys his own. I think it's a performance. Yeah. He is constantly incubated by people who feel the same way he does. And so then when he's put in a position, especially publicly, and Dante said he was worried about the optics of it being a non-black person.
Right.
The science guy, David, he also appears to be younger. All of these things going into this person that is eloquently and effortlessly disproving what you said. And now your audience of people, you and Dante, who at first were like, we're going to give you the stage.
Yes.
You guys were like, he can do this because he said he wanted to debate Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
That's if you want to debate the best, then sure enough, we could give you the JV baller, right? It takes a lot for any human being when they're embarrassed, but especially a grown male black rapper. I mean, just if you just go through it takes a lot to be like, you know what? I'm bested. So I'm gonna sit down and shut up, and then I'll come back to the match and try again. You know that's rare.
And during a Q&A session with the professor after the debate, the professor revealed that he was quite surprised that the El Jamar beatdown was universally accepted. Check it out.
What's the next question? Damn, you smacked out that one.
No more questions. Just a lot of people giving their condolences for the death of Lord Jamar.
Whoa! Come on! Oh my!
They're saying rest in peace. They're being nice about it.
Wow! Oh wow!
I was pretty pleased with the response. It was a very uniform, positive response. Usually, there's a little bit of pushback. Somebody doesn't really, but this was pretty universal. Like,
yeah.
I savor that ass whooping.
And this whole thing has been quite entertaining to watch. I've been reading the comments under our last coverage, and some of the top comments have got me rolling, like this one describing El Jamar's mindset. If the sun is too hot to land on, why don't we go at night?
Incredible. That shit was funny. It's funny as fuck.
And at the big age of 56, El Jamar got users pondering, well, after listening to El Jamar, I think I became dumber. I'm watching a child in a losing argument with the teacher. Interesting timeline we live in. Facepalm emojis. And moving on, following the backlash that Snoop and Nelly have been facing over their performances at the inauguration, we got Dr. Umar go off on social media over this, and he believes these rappers should be left alone, although his reasoning behind this is quite fascinating. Check out a snippet.
I understand that Nelly, Snoop Dogg, and a few other black celebrities are catching a lot of flack from black integrationists for performing at inauguration. This is what I want to say. If it is a contradiction to perform at inauguration, then it is a contradiction to perform at inauguration. It is a contradiction to perform at Obama's inauguration. It is a contradiction to perform at inauguration, because none of these politicians or political parties have done anything to help African people. So if you're going to criminalize Nelly for being paid to perform at inauguration. That means no black person should be performing at any inauguration because none of them do anything to help our people. We can't have it both ways. If would have won the presidency, y'all wouldn't have said anything about people performing at this inauguration, even though she has no history of helping black people. So why is it okay to perform at Joe Biden in this inauguration? Why was it okay to perform at inauguration, but it's not okay to perform at inauguration? Why is there a difference in attitude? None of the political parties help black people. All of them have done wrong to our community. So unless we are going to ban everybody from performing at presidential inaugurations, then you shouldn't be saying nothing to Nelly. That's my opinion on that. How are you going to get mad at people for performing at the inauguration, but you don't get mad for people performing at the inauguration? And spent his whole career fighting against school desegregation, but it was okay to perform. You didn't get mad at black people for performing at inauguration. Is an enemy to African people. Yes, he is. But so is Harris, so is and so is What difference does it make? He's an entertainer. He got paid to entertain. Leave Nelly alone, because y'all worship stone cold sellouts out here. Y'all listen to their music. Y'all go to people's concerts who never did nothing for black people. But Nelly is wrong for performing at the inauguration. Miss me with it. Now, would it be wrong for Dr. Umar to perform at the inauguration? Yes, because I'm an activist and an organizer and a Pan-Africanist. It would be wrong for me to do it. Nelly is not an activist or an organizer. He is an entertainer and he was paid to entertain. It was a business arrangement. Unless we're going to hold everybody accountable, you can't hold anybody accountable.
Now, I don't know about Nelly, but Snoop Dogg in particular deserves the backlash for the videos he posted on the web blasting the current president and his voters before the election. I've searched, but I can't find these kind of videos coming from Nelly. However, Dr. Umar has also been put on blast by some users on social media. Take this for instance. It is important to note that his opinion holds little weight, as he embodies the same flaws and shortcomings that he criticizes in others. His lack of credibility undermines any argument he tries to make, and ultimately, it makes it difficult to take him seriously in discussions. And more on this note, this is just another long list of reasons why I will never take this man serious. And apart from users calling out his hypocrisy, we got insinuations of Dr. Umar being a scammer. He needs to get that school open or give the black people who donated for it their money back. This dude robbed those people of their money. That's what he needs to be worrying about. But overall, do you think rappers like Snoop and Nelly deserve the backlash, or do you agree with Dr. Umar? Share your thoughts below. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.